Hey guys, welcome back. And a big hello to all my fellow comic book and pop culture aficionados. Uh, I've recently been watching some videos from Dr. Von Chilla and ETA Nick and some other people about old comic memories and memories of your first back issue orders. And I'm not sure, it might have been one of Dr. Von Chilla's videos that we kind of got in a little conversation between he and I and Monster Maniac, who you guys also know from his other channels, Speed Demon Model Shop, Chris, and Nick. I think all four of us were in on the conversation, and we were calling each other dinosaurs because we all had the same experiences when we first ordered our first back issue comics from a mail order and back issue dealers. And I found some old pamphlets I had from a dealer that I bought from back in the 70s. And and I hate this, up until probably 8 or 10 years ago, I had saved like all the old comic lists and comic catalogs that I had, that I bought from when I was a kid. And it was kind of one of those things where I was like looking for more space, and I had like a whole box of this stuff, like old catalogs, and I got rid of just about everything. So, yeah. We talked about the different dealers. We had the Richard Alf and the Grand Book Company and Passaic Book Center and Howard Rojofsky. And so if anybody has one of those little blue-covered Howard Rojofsky catalogs from the 70s, I would love to have one. I'm going to have to go out and maybe try to find one on eBay or from maybe another comic collector. But anyway, we were kind of having a little conversation about our first comic buying experiences through the mail. And, like John and Nick and some of these other guys were saying, you had to send out for the book or you had to send out for the catalog, and then you had to wait weeks for it, and then you had to, when you sent your order out, you had to wait another 6 to 8 weeks, but it pretty much was like Christmas when you got that first package in the mail, and I never will forget. And I found the books that were in my first back issue orders from another dealer, but I'll get to that in a minute. Like I said, I found some old pamphlets from a dealer that was from, I think, Montreal, Canada. His name is Maxwell J. Seeley. And I'm sure a lot of you guys remember that name if you were ordering comics from the ads. He had a couple little pamphlets. This is one, comic book collecting from A to Z. Lots of great stuff, like if you're beginning collecting. All kinds of information on how to store stuff and, some of the definitions of some of the stuff in the comic collecting world. I think this was from around 77 or 78. I'm not sure what I ordered from them because, like I said, I got rid of most of that stuff, but I still had the pamphlets. And here's another one. I think this was from 1974. Comics as a Hobby. More great information on collecting, fun and profit, market value, hobby secrets, market price guide, grading. You can tell this is old from the stain on it. Just a really cool little piece of comic memorabilia to have. Like I say, I hate that I threw all that other stuff away, but at least I do have one thing left. Nice little pamphlet there. Another little insert, I guess, was in one of my orders where he was promoting ElfQuest from Warp Graphics, 1978. And you can buy the first 3 issues for like $2 and $3.50. And a little thing on the back, how to grade comic books by definition and condition. It's another little cool piece there. And here's another one. How to Use and Why You Should Use Protective Comic Bags by Maxwell J. Seeley. So another cool little insert that I saved. And I guess this might have been before comic boxes, showing you how to store them in Coca-Cola crates. And prevention of aging and yellowing. Okay, the last thing I've actually got a handwritten note, and I have no idea what was in the order. But for those of us that ordered from catalogs back in that time, a lot of times you would order, they would have updates maybe every 3 to 6 months or every year, and sometimes the prices would change. And this is one of those times. I guess I had ordered from one list, and the prices had changed. And well, anyway, here's the handwritten note. It says, "Dear Shannon, thank you for your order, which is enclosed. I'm afraid to say that your order arrived too late, and the catalog from which you ordered had expired. Therefore, I charged the new prices, and it worked out this way." And I spent a whole $11. I'm not sure what the books were, but I sent so much money, and then like the new thing was like 35 cents more or whatever. But anyway, enjoy the books cordially, Maxwell Seeley. Your order has been sent in 2 parcels. And that happened a lot, especially if you ordered stuff from Canada. It would come in like, I guess that's just the way mail worked from Canada then. I'm not sure now. But if you had, say, 20 or 30 books, you order in the States and you get it in one box. And from Canada, it would arrive in 2 or 3 parcels. I'm not sure why. But I thought that was a nice little piece of memorabilia. Like I say, I'm not sure what books I ordered from the guy. But I know I ordered from him several times. So still glad to have that. But I do remember the first books that I ever actually received in the mail was from Robert Bell. And I'm sure, like I say, guys that ordered back in that time remember that name. I know my cousin was kind of into comic books with me. And I think we had saved up like a whole $15 or something, and we went in together and ordered some books. And a lot of times, like say, if you could list alternate choices. But I think with Robert Bell, if he didn't have your first choices or whatever, he would send you a credit slip. So basically, when we first sent the money out, we got like a couple books, and then they didn't have the rest of them, and we sent the credit slip back for some more books, and then we got a couple more books, but they didn't have all of those, so he sent back another. I think it finally took like 4 times we finally got our money spent. And I think we actually might have paid a little bit extra for postage. But these are the books. I've got all the originals, and I've got some upgraded copies. So these are the first 4 comic books that I ever received in the mail. And okay, this first one is this is the original, and the only copy I have of this actually is Flash 226. Okay, it's got a great story, and it. As far as Flash, back then when I started reading them, Irv Novick was doing a lot of the art. And I think maybe Frank McLaughlin and Tex Blaisdell and Dick Giordano inked this story. But I think he's really another underappreciated artist. He did a lot of stuff on Batman, but he was on Flash for a long time too. And the cool thing about this book, it's got a Green Lantern backup drawn by Neil Adams and Dick Giordano. And I'll kind of show you a few pages of that, because to me this was actually just as good or better than the stuff that he did on the Green Lantern title. So, so some really nice Neil Adams and Dick Giordano artwork, Denny O'Neil on the script. Yeah, I think this is just as good as the stuff they did on the regular Green Lantern title. And for you Neil Adams completists, there was also a 3-part story in the back of Flash 217, 218, and 219 with Neil Adams art. So those of you that are interested in getting some Neil Adams stuff, this is Flash 226. And speaking of obsession on books, this is one of those books for me. This is my original copy. But I think the first issue I actually bought of this title was number 32. And then when I, like I say, in 76 or so, 75 or 76, whenever I started ordering through the mail, well, before that, let me back up a little bit. The first issue of Commandy I ever bought was number 32, which was like a square-bound issue that had reprinted the first issue and had like a Jack Kirby bio, and I've probably got 7 or 8 copies of that one because that's one of my favorite books. But this is another one of those that I was kind of obsessed with, just because it was one of the first ones I ordered. But Commandy number 18 with the Eater. This is my original copy because I remember the little crease. If you can see that there. But I just love this story. Love the cover. Just Jack Kirby, to me at his finest. So Commandy 18. Got a few more copies of that. All these are higher grade. So, okay. And the third book was World's Finest, 231. This is my original copy. Not in really bad shape. Probably maybe a good plus or VG. It's kind of beat up at the top. But I love this cover. Hero is a dirty name. Superman, Batman, and the Super Sons. I guess starring Flash and Green Arrow. One of my favorite all-time stories from that title. And I got a couple more of this one. And I got a high-grade copy a few years ago. So World's Finest, 231. And last but not least, probably saving the best for last. Like I said, I was a DC kid starting out, and I really didn't get into Marvel till later on, but I did pick up a few titles here and there, and some of my favorites were the monster and horror books from the 70s, the monster reprints. And like I say, in a lot of those old catalogs, there weren't pictures of the books. I mean, you didn't know what the grade was. I think a lot of time they would list them like in good or better, or fine or better, and I think most of these were like 75 cents. I don't think I paid any more than $1 for any of these. They're probably more like 75 cents. This is one of my all-time favorite comics also. Where Monsters Dwell, number 14. This is my original. I've read it countless times. Got a great Jack Kirby reprint. I think this is from like Tales of Suspense 19. But got a great John Severin cover. The green thing. Like I say, another one of these great picture frame covers. Like I say, one of my favorite stories. And the cool thing about these monster reprints, I mean, you always had Jack Kirby. Any combination of like Jack Kirby, Steve Ditko, Don Heck were always in these books. And I think those are the 3 that are in this. There's a Ditko reprint and a Don Heck reprint. So one of my favorite books. Beautiful cover. And this is my original. My first Marvel Comics through mail order. And of course I got a high grade copy. And I'm probably going to try to upgrade this because this has got a couple little stress marks on the spine. Other than that, it's a really nice looking book. It's really hard to find one with a black background, as everybody knows, in high grade. But anyway, that was my first foray into mail order and back issues. Hope you guys enjoyed that, and anybody else that's got videos like that they want to share, I would love to see them. Like I say, I appreciate all you guys watching, and as always, onward and upward.